Hi Floyd. Wa alaikum assalam. Welcome all. We're gonna start in 2 minutes. Okay, so welcome all of you to Mina Speaker's webinar, Women Who Inspire. My name is Mona Al-Harbi, and I would like to greet those who are watching us on Facebook and Instagram. Welcome all to our session. We will be starting now in like 2 to 3 minutes, inshallah. Welcome those who are watching us from Facebook. So we are going to start our session right now. And actually, I would like to start this session with a question. At what level should we take responsibility and move forward in life? If we look at this question, what does moving forward means? And how can we take responsibility of it? Does it mean ignoring facts? Does it mean living in denial? Or does it mean just being responsible and accepting and moving to the next step? So we will be talking today about acceptance and how can we find the key to acceptance, and how can we change our life just by being acceptant? And why acceptance? Most of us know that acceptance gives us a kind of fulfillment, or maybe for others it gives us motivation. I think most of you agree that acceptance has a big impact on how we live our lives. Like, the real question here would be, how do you look at yourself? Okay, so how like if I ask each one of you, you can participate in the chat box, or maybe just answer privately. How do you look at yourself? If you describe yourself in one word, what would this word be? How do you see yourself when you look in the mirror? Okay, let's go back in time when you were younger or you were in school and we just wanted to fit in, to feel accepted, or a time when we ran to our parents to show them a drawing or something just to feel accepted and appreciated. So acceptance is important. It's important to us from such a young age. But all the behavior we do to interpret this acceptance differs from one stage to another. So we go through things in life that changes this behavior or the way we look at ourselves. And maybe in time we start losing the confidence of accepting ourselves. Hence, other people cannot accept us, or this is how we feel of our other people. So we can all agree that acceptance is a feeling we want to feel. It shouldn't be a goal we want to achieve. Although it's not a goal, we need actions and steps in order to reach that fulfilling acceptance. Which take us to another question. How vulnerable is our acceptance to the voices inside of us, to the comments we get from people, from our loved ones, which lead us to questioning? Okay, so you start asking, why me? You start having these scenarios and assumption that is what X thinks of me, or what this loved one commented the other day, and more questions and scenarios build up inside of us. When you are put in a certain situation, these questions and conversations weakens us, and it makes you more weak that we cannot handle life. So let me tell you a short story about obsessing of being overweight, not accepting my appearance in a way, listening to compliments that I considered them lies actually. So I was unaccepting to myself that all my health issues and symptoms I used to get, I always blamed it on being overweight. Continuous numbness in my arms, blurry vision, tired all the time, restless legs, I cannot go up the stairs. I gave a reason to each symptom that referred it to the weight. Until one day, after 4 years with living in my own head and ignorance, I decided to go and check up my back to confirm that my weight is giving me all these symptoms. Well, the doctor had another theory and decided to run some scans and tests, and that's when I discovered that I wronged myself big time. He told me, Mona, you have MS. MS is multiple sclerosis. It's a neurological disease. It's an immune disease that disrupts the signals from the brain to the body. So it causes paralyze, like speech problems or foggy memory, blindness, different and many kind of symptoms. Of course, because of not knowing what MS, I was so somehow happy, and that is that I had a smile on my face. The doctor was explaining and telling me what's MS, and in my head, I was dancing in joy that all these symptoms were not because I was fat. I was dancing in joy, although I didn't know what really MS is. So after leaving that doctor office, I was crying so hard how I was so obsessed of being overweight that I ignored symptoms of such a difficult disease for 4 years. Missing of acceptance. Okay, so that phase was overwhelming, a mixed feelings and many emotions. Looking back now, after all I went through, I realized I went into 4 different stages until I got to this acceptance. First, uh, first stage was fear. So it was fear of the unknown, which led to feeling helpless and lost. The fear of what I would go blind. I wouldn't see my children's face when they grow up. I feel like a burden to my family, pushing me on a wheelchair or rescheduling because I'm tired. I don't feel like going up when I have a flare up, and many other thoughts and ideas going in my head. So I gave a chance to this fear to grow, and it grew to another stage, which was denial. I entered a denial stage where I was acting as if everything is fine and missing my pills, doing my activities in the heat, um, ignoring doctor's recommendation. Like even at a stage, my spouse was joking about, like, I'm fine, I don't have anything, I look perfect. It didn't last long because I could not afford staying in denial that long. My children needed their mother. I needed to get back to reality, which also led me to depression. Depression was a stage that I knew what impact my thoughts had and how I was driving myself to the edge. I wanted to stay alone in the dark, to stay at hotels for 2 to 3 days, away from everyone, even my children. I even begged my doctors for sleeping pills. I resented around me every person who said, I'm tired. It's like, I was like, it's not the same. Triple the amount of tiredness you have to the people of MS. I lash out. I teared up every time I see my parking card and special needs parking. It was so cruel. It was a hard stage. I don't wish it for anyone. So it also led me to anger. Anger was the stage that had a lot of self-discovery. At the beginning, I used to lash out at anything, as simple as my sister whining about being tired if we went to the mall. It's like, it's not the same. Triple your tiredness to understand what people of MS feels like. I avoided my kids all day. I just don't want to lash out on them. And silly fights with my spouse, lashing out at people, blocking the parking of their determination, the disabled parking, and at work I avoided all. Even people started avoiding me. Um, I grew a reputation like a ticking bomb that nobody should like talk to me. Frustration was like piling inside of me. This stage made me realize what this diagnosis made me become. So I decided to transform myself from inside out. I joined a 6-month journey that got me to a place I am in today. I don't want it to sound easy. It was intense and hard, but I kept going through, and I wanted that type of change in my life. That realization made me ask myself, what will make me a better person, a better mother, a better coworker, a better daughter? So I accepted. The acceptance came after 6 to 7 months of self-discovery and the relief it brought to me, I reached acceptance state. It's indescribable. I cannot describe the freedom, the laughter, the breathing, the joy, the energy. It was so positive that I started spreading the concept, the inner peace it brings. Like, it's similar to the forgiveness. I remember one episode of Oprah, I saw her talking to a guest about forgiveness and how this mother have to forgive the killer of her son. And this forgiveness will set her free. It's similar to that feeling. Like, it's after I reach the level of acceptance, I had more potential and more motivation to look forward of achieving and getting what I can get from life, from my situation. I realized these 70,000 thoughts that cross our mind should be filtered and then moved back from the subconscious mind to our conscious mind, and to be aware of them and then take actions upon them. So after that, how can we, people who are asking questions and raising hand, just we will do that in the middle of this session. Just give us like 10 more minutes. It's actually simple. The real key is changing your perspective, looking at things differently. So I reached to the point that I achieved and I overachieved, and I started like going in seminars and webinars and doing a training, and I co-authored in a book. And there is a quote, I really loved it so much. It was, we can't prevent what we can't predict. For me, finding out that I had multiple sclerosis turned out to be a gift. At the end, the diagnosis awoke me in my spirit that propelled me to engage in life and immerse and see and feel. I realigned my focus and I took stock of my priorities. Had my life not been touched by MS, I might have never known a whole new depth to my life and to myself. While I could never have predicted my disease, I still would not have chosen to prevent it, even if I had the chance. It became like a blessing to me. It started making me look at things differently. Like, for example, the wheelchair. I started looking at the wheelchair as a roller coaster. Although I hate roller coasters, but it's like a fun ride. At the parking, I started calling it a VIP parking. Even my children now, they call it a VIP parking. So it's all about the perspective. Perspective is one of the most important things that lead you to accept the situation and that accept yourself and find your inner peace. So if we go back to the beginning of the topic, instead of asking why me, I had the courage to ask, why not me? Why not me? Like any shocked person or any person who gets hit by a hard reality, instead of saying, why me, you can ask yourself, why not me? This question that will lead us to get motivated, eliminate the self-pity, and look at things differently, unleash our inner powers, get empowered by the accomplishments. When you ask, why not me, the not will let you feel the resistance, that you are not weak. You are stronger than what what you think about yourself. When you say, why not me? It should give you the empowerment to do and prove that it should be you. It should be you because you can give more. You can get a bigger outcome than when you ask, why me? So luckily, I got to that stage before getting a new relapse in summer 2019. It was so devastating. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I was so happy. I can't describe it. It was devastating that it is a relapse and it's something real, but it didn't bother me. What bothered me, actually, my mother and father aiding me at that age. Something like that could have bothered me, but I wasn't bothered by having a relapse of the MS. And most importantly, we should be open and willing to accept these situations that life puts us in. You can read all the guidelines, you can listen to all the podcasts, you can join millions of support groups, but if the willing of acceptance didn't come from within, you cannot reach that level. It's similar to the willing of if you want to quit smoking or you want to exercise every day. If there isn't an inner willpower, you cannot achieve the outcome. So during this self-discovery journey that began to change my life, I found that change is necessary. The comfort zone. Each one of us have a comfort zone that we are so comfortable in. Change is not easy. Maybe this is a 1 hour session or a short session that I can tell my story and show you that change has a big impact and did a lot to my life. But in real life, it's not easy. It's a process. You should go through a process, step by step. Once you leave your comfort zone, you will find your purpose in life. You will look at life differently. So once I resolved to accept the MS, I felt a sense of peace, but also I renewed my sense of empowerment. My acceptance meant that I no longer had to struggle or wrestle against what I could not change. I cannot change that I don't have MS. I only focused on the things I could change. So I began dealing with MS differently. Yes, we will get to the questions, guys. So when um, I had previously spent so much energy worrying over silly, insignificant things, I gave myself permission to stop concerning myself with the petty and important details of life. There are so many irrelevant, inconsequential issues that touch our life, even during just one day. When I let go of them, I felt free. I realized how my time and energy I had previously expended so needlessly. That was all time put into my health, my happiness, my healing, my children, and myself. Okay, so my perspective and my overall life and my place within it changed too. For the first time in my life, I was able to stand back and see that I have been living inside a bubble in an unpleasant zone, but one of my own creations. So if it is one of my own creations, I can create it differently. I changed my perspectives. I started looking at the same thing. Let's say, for example, you're you're doing a diet and you have to have lunch for salad for lunch, I mean. And your first perspective is, I'm eating this salad. Oh my God, I just want to lose weight. I'm eating this salad. It's boring. It doesn't have any taste. What am I, a rabbit? And the second day, after you change your perspective and after you go through this change, you have salad for lunch again. But this time, when you eat the salad, oh, this is a very healthy diet. My digestion is very perfect today. I don't have any cramps. I feel healthy. I feel lighter. It's the same salad, but the change of perspective and the change of receptiveness is what changed your reaction and what changed your feeling about it. So these keys will make you face and accept whatever situation you put yourself in to get in getting emotional scarred. So let's talk about awareness. What do I mean by awareness? Once you are aware, like every time we look at everything surrounding us, we take it for granted. We're not aware what what's happening around us, or what what are the things that we deal with, or what we have, or the people around us. But when we take action and put this awareness in perspective, you can see that this awareness helps you achieve the action, or helps you do this action. Without action, you cannot reach the acceptance or get to the change you need. So they're all connected together. Perspective, awareness, action, change lead to acceptance. At, at one point, I began to realize that I had been like administrating my own brand of special medication. I called it the changing pill. Okay, so when I took it and when I accepted the change was okay, life was easier to accept. Who had ever said that change wasn't a good thing? I found change to be precisely what my life needed and just what I had been lacking in my life. I began to seek things in my life that I could change just so I could bring about more positive results. With change also comes opportunity. The reason for this is that when people change, their horizon open to allow new people, ideas, circumstances, and fun. So let's say one of you don't like taking pills, don't want to take the change pill. You can break it down and make this change incremental and step by step. It shouldn't be a big change in your life. You shouldn't cut out all your friends at once. You shouldn't leave your job. You shouldn't uh, go away for 1 week without telling anyone. Change, it's okay to go through the process. Change can happen in small steps. Each step will make you understand what type of change do you need. Do you really need to change your environment or people or your job? We don't know. In each level or in each change you go through, you will realize something new, something you didn't expect to realize in the previous level, let's say. So when we are open to change, we open ourselves to all the goodness, warmth, and light that the world has to offer. So as a result, when we learn and grow, we become the best versions of ourselves. This is This is what acceptance means eventually, that you are a better version of yourself and you are in a level that you are ready to face whatever situation you receive in life. So let's take some questions, and we want some of the participants to share their stories. If Okay, so doctor.
Can you see the question, Mona? There's a question
Sorry?
from, there are some questions. There's a question from Ayman Ansari. It says how to measure your level of acceptance from the last stage. How to measure progress. That's one question. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a very excellent question. As I mentioned like a while ago, that if we take this change or the levels of acceptance step by step, each level you realize what uh, each level you realize how much you need to go to the next level or how much change is required. um, the measurement will come from the feeling inside of you. Like, for example, when I went away from my children, I thought that that will make that was a relief for me, and I would be worried about them, and I will like feel guilty. I was shocked that I didn't feel anything at all, and I realized that I need to take more of these uh, let's say solo vacations or solo getaways. I realized that it's okay to leave the children with their father or to leave their children with a relative and go relax for 2 days. So this is like a level. This is one level, and the other level is feeling okay. So this feeling, I felt it inside that it's okay to leave my children, made me accept that it's okay for me to set free or to let go. So this is one of the levels of acceptance. When I change another or go to another level, I get more and more realization of how much acceptance do I need to feel my inner peace or my inner satisfaction. So I hope, Ayman, I answered your question. Inspiring, we need. Thank you so much, Triple A. Yes, Ayman. So each level, it depends. I just saw the measure and the progress. The measurement depends on what are you feeling in that level or in that stage that you went to. Someone is raising hand. Are they allowed to speak? The
Yes, you can
moderator.
Hi,
speak
Mune.
loudly.
Yes, doctor.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Thank you so much for such an inspiring talk, Yani. I know you on a personal level and a professional level, and you never cease to surprise me with your progress and your inspiration. I just want to thank you and commend the level of progress. I think you're a true successful story for two things. First, the obstacles that we know you're handling, and some we don't know, I'm sure you're handling. The other is the rate of progression. You have been relatively, from my understanding, been diagnosed recently, fairly recently, and a few years is considered recent for your MS. And I know it's not easy, but the success story you made out of it makes anyone, stop giving excuses from themselves and start working on themselves from the start. So I just want to thank you again for this such an inspirational talk.
Well, it's very assuring to hear from a doctor. Thank you so much, Dr. Mariam. And I would just like to add to that that each person knows when their change needed. If you see like a motivational video or a motivational speech or listen to a motivational podcast, that doesn't mean you should go and start working right away. So it's like it's more like a inner feeling that you know when your time comes to change, when your time comes to accept. It's the same issue. I'm telling you, I got diagnosed with MS and then I got a relapse. It's the same issue. How I looked at it before 4 years and how I look at it today, to the same thing. Same like the example I gave you of the wheelchair. I look at it as a roller coaster. Although it's a wheelchair, it's the same thing. My MS is the same, but how I look at it now, it's different. So each person knows when they can get to that level of acceptance, or how much change they need to work with until they reach the level they need. Thank you so much. And any other questions, moderator? Thank you, Sidra.
So someone asked the question, Sidra.
Yeah.
This is about depression. So first, Sidra says your story is really inspiring. Then Sidra asked a direct question about depression. There's also another comment from someone called AAA. AAA says, may Allah bless you with health and success. Looking forward to more webinars. So yeah, so Sidra's question is around depression.
Yes. First of all, thank God we have a doctor now inside with us in the webinar. Depression is a very serious mental illness. I think if someone see themselves with these symptoms, they should consult someone. For me, luckily, I was already following up with my neurologist, so they could tell easily what I was going through, and they have like a manual for MS people. They go through levels and they go through many emotional feelings. So I think it's very serious, and they should take it seriously, and they shouldn't ignore if they notice symptoms, similar symptoms like isolating themselves, staying in the dark, wanting to sleep all day. Nothing seems to interest them. There are many common symptoms for types of depression, and some of them needs treatment. And it's not a shame. I never once was ashamed of having this diagnosis, or feeling ashamed that I went through these levels and stages. Actually, I know one patient of MS. She was so embarrassed and ashamed that her husband doesn't know about her MS, and she didn't tell her parents. And she's struggling from the inside, and she still cannot reach to her level of acceptance. So I'm in a very nice place, a very wonderful place, that I feel so comfortable discussing my illness on national TV. The other day, I had an interview on Abu Dhabi channel. I was the only one. 5 MS patients were invited. I was the only one who attended. So I feel free and I feel confident. And because now my perspective of it is, it's a blessing to my life, and it changed my life positively.
Amazing. So we have another question.
Yeah.
You have another question. This is from Lule.
Yes.
So Lule says, what changes did you make and what therapies have you taken? Are you taking any particular medicines? What is the form of treatment that you have followed? So this is a very specific question.
Okay, that's a very nice question, actually, because MS or multiple sclerosis has no like cure, but it has, they give us like treatment. Some go to injections, and some use pills that makes the attacks, or these attacks, less than expected. Like, for example, if we can say, oh, sorry for this example, like if I get paralyzed, instead of getting paralyzed now, I get paralyzed in 20 years, or like in 10 years, it delays the attacks. And like another example, instead of getting paralyzed, we get only on a cane, or maybe just a 1 week, 2 week thing, and then there is no treatment. It just these pills like the doctor can join us. It's like it makes the attack less, or delays it. It delays it. Yeah. So I'm basically on pills, and I take care of my health. I do my physiotherapy in water, actually swimming, aqua therapy, and alhamdulillah, I'm doing very well, and I'm so proud uh, of my symptoms. I have more than 20 lesions, and alhamdulillah, I'm functioning very well. Any other questions?
Okay, so yeah, that question is answered. So just looking at the chat box, okay, we just have some more comments from people. Someone says you're the best. Someone says thank you. Just there are a lot of very, very positive comments from people.
I'm very
Wow.
grateful. I really appreciate all these comments. The people, I'm showing that there is raise of hand.
Yes,
Is
there was
are
someone
those
who raised
questions
their
also?
hand before, but I think the hand is down now.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to make any, if Mona would like some people to share their personal stories. So if you're fine with sharing your personal story, please indicate. Okay, there's a hand raised. That's Lule. Okay, I'm just going to allow Lule to talk now. So you can speak now, Lule. I have, you can just unmute yourself.
Hello, hi. I just wanted to say, actually, going back to the natural therapies, is it okay I can emphasize more on this?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you tried any alternative therapies, like working on the inner self, like on the subconscious, and how this MS came about and how you can cure it permanently?
I really love your question. It reminds me when I tried healing therapy, the energy healing. You know, you go to a hypnotist, they call him
Yeah,
hypnotist.
hypnotherapy.
Yeah, I tried that actually, and I tried that when I started the first time I started using the medication, and the doctor told me at that time this medication will take effect from 3 to 6 months in order to make the enhanced lesions uh, like stop. So after I went to this therapist and I started this healing process, in like 45 days, when they did another scan, the doctor told me your enhanced lesion are no longer enhanced only in 45 days, which never happens. Usually people get 3 to 6 months until the medication kicks in. So I tried that, and it's no harm in trying something new as long as you believe it can help you. So I wouldn't, I'm not a professional I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional in neurology, but this is my personal experiment. And I really went to a healing, energy healing therapist, and I tried it, and they told me the enhancing lesions stopped. So maybe it works.
So you find that some improvement, is that what I'm hearing?
It wasn't improvement, the enhancement stopped. Like the lesion, instead of being active, it was inactive. So
Okay.
that's a big deal in MS.
Yes, that's fantastic, because it's a process that you have to go through with, there's a cell command therapy also. There's a therapy that you go through through hypnosis, and it actually helps to cure the MS or any other underlying illnesses at the moment.
Yeah, I truly believe in that very much.
Okay. Are you willing to try some new
Yes,
therapeutics?
I don't mind trying meditation. I did meditation a lot, and I tried it as well, the energy healing, but I don't mind trying the hypnosis. I really would like to try that. I believe in these things or this type of therapy.
Okay, I guess we'll connect the both of you after the webinar so that you can
Okay,
take this conversation offline. Okay.
okay.
So we have another question from Mary. Thanks so much, Lule, for your contribution. So
Thank you very much, Lily. Yeah.
yes, we have another contribution now from Maria Harris. She
Mm-hmm.
says, this session is amazing. You are truly an inspiration. Now, I want to know how to control anger in the circle of acceptance. How to control anger in the circle of acceptance. While you're coming up with an answer for that question, let me just read the comment from M. Al Salama. She says,
Yeah.
I'm thankful I am near at work during this period. You're always inspired us and actually help us to be better. You're such a great woman. Thank you. Okay, so that's the comment. So now you can answer the question. So everyone, we have about 12 minutes to go for the session. If you have any final comments and questions, please feel free to ask those questions using the Q&A while Miriam answers Maria's question right now.
Okay, so thank you, Maria, for your compliment. And actually, anger is a it's very hard issue to deal with. I remember one time I had a client. Her issue was anger. Even when she came to the session and she's talking to me, her teeth was all the time speaking like this. She was angry. She had super anger issues, and we started to unlock the reasons of this anger. She had many reasons, and she had ready reasons. Like in less than a minute, she will like mention 10 or 20 reasons for her to be angry. And actually, I went with her step by step, and we discussed each reason that made her angry, and her shoulders started to go down, and she started to wonder. I know when you ask me, I don't know why I'm angry. She didn't realize why was she angry. She only knows that she is angry. So after going through these reasons that she gave us, she realized that wasn't the reason. And of course, we had like a long session. I cannot explain it in 2 to 3 minutes, but there is like a process for these anger issues or anger or how to manage your anger. We are only human and we go through a lot daily, especially in this period of our life where pandemic and working and not seeing each other or staying like social distancing and everything piles and piles and keep piling until you feel yourself you want to burst. Just remember, look at yourself in the mirror. How do you see yourself? Check, make a checklist. Check the reasons that make you angry. Eliminate them. This is a simple solution for how to reduce this feeling of anger. Other than that, it's not, again, it's not a shame or it's not wrong to seek for help or seek a professional person to help you in these matters. They are serious and they can develop to something harmful. So, Maria, the control comes within. You have to control from within. You need some tools and techniques from people who are professional to help you. That's fine. You can go and seek help. And I hope I can, I answered a part of your question at least since we have a little time. And at the end of the session, I would like to thank you all for attending, and I really appreciate your words, and I hope I could add even if a little bit to your knowledge and to your motivation and inspiration. And I would like to thank the moderator, Ifi, and the MENA speakers for this opportunity. Thank you very much all.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mona, for such an inspiring session. Thank you everyone for attending the session. This has been a very illuminating conversation. Personally, I'm feeling very inspired and really excited to go about life and to begin to unbundle some of the issues that are in my life as well. So for the rest of the series, we have other very inspiring female speakers. We have another webinar in 2 days. So the team will be sharing an email. So the video from this webinar will be made available to you as well, so that you can go through the various steps that Mona has shared. While in a few days' time, we will be having another webinar. Looking forward to seeing everyone in the rest of the series. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.